Good morning. It's time again to uh, come together relatively and search the Word of God. We'll be beginning uh, with the identity of Jesus Christ. And before looking at his works, reading through the New Testament where Jesus Christ himself was on earth doing a lot of really cool things, I'd like to turn to the Old Testament and view in Isaiah what God feels about false gods, and to read who he is, who he wants to be in our lives, and if there's any exceptions we can make for him, if there are any substitutes whatsoever for the true living God. So you will have to bear with me. I've got quite a few verses to read through. I've got all sorts of notes. This shouldn't be too chaotic, but this is going to be a bigger video than the rest. So we'll be looking in the book of Isaiah in the Old Testament, chapter 46, verses 1 through 7. I'll read through those verses, and then we'll look at them verse by verse to see what they're saying. Isaiah 46, verses 1 through 7. Bel bows down, Nebo stoops. Their idols were on the beasts and on the cattle. Your carriages were heavily loaded, a burden to the weary beast. They stoop, they bow down together. They could not deliver the burden, but have themselves gone into captivity. Listen to me, O house of Jacob, and all the remnant of the house of Israel, who you have been upheld by me from birth, whom have been carried from the womb. Even to your old age I am he, and even to gray hairs I will carry you. I have made, and I will bear, even I will carry, and I will deliver you. To whom will you liken me, and make me equal, and compare me, that we should be alike? They lavish gold out of the bag, and waste silver on the scales. They hire a goldsmith, and he makes it a god. They prostrate themselves, yes, they worship. They bear it on the shoulder, they carry it, and set it in its place, and it stands. From its place it shall not move. Though one cries out to it, yet it cannot answer, nor save him out of his trouble. Now remember this, and show yourselves men. Recall to mind, O you transgressors, remember the former things of God. For I am God, and there is no other. I am God, and there is none like me. Those are some very deep, powerful things that God was talking about there. A little bit of a preface. That chapter, it was written by Isaiah, a prophet, and there's a lot of history there. I am so excited to be reading through this and learning more and studying any of the books of the Bible, but Isaiah is really powerful. Isaiah has a lot of black and white attitudes that God presents regarding us, regarding people not following him, regarding having false gods and idols. At the time that was written, the Israel was in captivity in Babylon. In the previous chapter, God, through Isaiah, prophesies that Babylon is going to fall, and the nation that takes it over, is going to set Israel free. at the time it was written, Bel and Nebo were two very important idols. I don't know much about idolatry. In the strictest sense, I've never engaged in it. I've never had little Buddhas or whomever to pray to, but Bel and Nebo were very important ones. So, in verse 1, sorry, this is getting confusing. In verse 1, Bel bows down, Nebo stoops. Their idols were on the beasts and on the cattle. Your carriages were heavily loaded, a burden to the weary beast. So we have these two idols bowing down and stooping. They're being carried by these animals. In this verse, God points to two very important idols, and he doesn't care who's reading about it, who loves or is deeply attached to Bel and Nebo. He doesn't care about our thoughts regarding those false gods. He's saying, here are these two idols, and they're on the back of cattle or horses or camel or whatever, and they're getting knocked about to and fro. They're on their sides, and these animals are just having to bear all of that. In the second verse, they stoop, they bow down together, they could not deliver the burden, but have gotten themselves into captivity. So that's speaking to the helplessness of these idols. They might have been made of rock or gold or whatever. It's apparent that they're heavy, and they're going into captivity. Those idols were taken over by somebody else. They were stolen. They were trophies of war, whatever. Those idols are helpless to save themselves. They're just something for someone to carry, and that's it. Verse 3 says, Listen to me, O house of Jacob, and all the remnant of the house of Israel, who've been upheld by me from birth, whom have been carried from the womb. Here God is making a comparison between himself and those idols. He opens with, Listen to me. He's here showing his difference, the difference between him and those idols, by speaking. He's not just sitting, stooping, bowing down on the back of an animal. He's addressing Israel. He's talking to them. He's showing, with those three words, listen to me, that he really exists. He's not just something carved by the hands of man,